Welcome back to Adventures Never Far Away. I'm here with my friend Elise that I traveled to Germany with. So quick introduction to Elise. We actually met a year and a half ago when she posted an open room for rent in a house that she was actually renting, and I came and met with her, hit it off, and the rest is history. About a year ago, I made a comment how I wanted to go to Germany to visit the Christmas markets, and Elise said, "Oh, I want to go too," which is great. But if you've traveled before and you've talked to your friends before, you know that like when somebody says that, they don't always like follow through. Most of the time, they don't follow through. And it was actually kind of interesting because she kept bringing it up, like, "Oh, like, are we gonna go to Germany?" I'm like, okay, so maybe she's serious. Maybe I should look for flights. Looked for flights, told her the price. She's like, "Great, yeah, not a problem." I was like, okay, I'm gonna book the flight. And this is probably where it's gonna go down. And the rest is history. We booked everything and we had a great time. We are still talking, we're still friends, so you know that is great. That is also good, because a lot of times when you travel with people, sometimes that's the end of your friendship because you've never spent that long of a time together, you've never been together when things go wrong.
Right.
And have had to deal with some pretty tough situations, and that's usually when your character comes out and when you really get to know the other person. Fortunately, there weren't too many surprises, I would hope.
Yeah, I mean, other than the fact that our plane was delayed and then we couldn't get another flight, and that was, you know.
But once we got to Germany, it was great. You've heard my side of the story. Now I want to bring in somebody else, so, you know, a little bit of validation so that you know that it actually was as awesome as it really was. So, I had some questions we're going to ask each other. We've actually already had time to kind of think about this, so hopefully not too much on the spot. So, first question, and I'm sure you got asked this a lot too, but which market was your favorite and why?
Nice. Yeah, I would lean more towards Ludwigsburg. They had a lot more of a small, homey kind of feel. There were a lot more locals, and I absolutely loved the live band that was there. It was so cute. I was just bubbling the whole time. Very fun. They were adorable.
Yeah, it was perfect. Like I had mentioned in a previous video, we had actually just been talking about how we hadn't heard Christmas music being played, and then all of a sudden we're right next to this stage. They're doing a sound check, and then this band starts playing, and that was pretty awesome.
It's fun.
I would also have to agree that Ludwigsburg was my favorite. There was just something about it. In the center of the market, they have these 4 Christmas light angels that kind of enclose the market together, and it was really, really beautiful, and I think set the tone. We got some really good pictures from that market as well. What was the most delicious thing you ate at a market stall? We ate a lot of things, and we tried a lot of things. So we're not talking about like meals. We would buy 1 or 2 things here or there and usually share.
Yeah.
Or at least say, "Here, have a bite."
Yeah, that's true. It was really fun.
Yeah.
I actually really liked was it deep fried apples?
Yes.
Apple slices?
Oh my goodness, and that was kind of a last minute thing. It was one of the last markets we went to in Munich, in Odeonplatz, and I just happened to be walking by, and I was staring at the stall because they had a vat of oil, and stuff was getting dumped into it, and of course you gotta stop, and I'm just standing there for a second, and then all of a sudden I was like, "They're deep fried apple slices, I'm getting some." Did I even tell you that I was getting in line?
No.
Okay, I just got in line.
Great.
And then I thought I was getting 1 apple slice. There were 3. Was the minimum. They were like, "Do you want 3, 6, or 10?" Like, 3. Yeah. So I think I've talked a lot about the different types of foods that I loved. So if you want to see my answer, you can go check out those videos.
Sorry, I keep staring at you. I mean, staring at the video is weird to me. I don't know.
I know. That's okay. If you had another week to return to one of the cities that we stayed at any time of the year, which city would you choose and why? So while she's still thinking about that, just a reminder, we went to quite a few cities and we spent about 24 hours in a handful of them, so there wasn't a whole lot of time to do a lot of exploring outside of the central markets and the center of town. So we flew in and out of Munich, we went up to Nuremberg, Rothenburg ob der Tauber, Ludwigsburg, Stuttgart, and then Tübingen, and then we went to the train station in Hechingen to go to the castle. and then back to Munich. And I guess we can throw in Amsterdam.
Oh yeah, that's true.
My answer actually would be Nuremberg, and that's because I love history. Talked about it before. I have a degree in history. I love, researching, going to different historical sites. There's a lot of World War II history that took place in and around Nuremberg that, not gonna lie, was kind of killing me that we didn't go visit, but we were there for the Christmas market, so I would pick Nuremberg. Nerd.
You also took mine. I would actually say Nuremberg is something that we could definitely tap more into. Mm-hmm. There were so many cute little stores that didn't necessarily have to do with the markets that I thought were just so fun to explore.
Yeah.
I did really like that. I did really love Rothenburg and how it was surrounded by a wall and how we got to walk the wall.
That was a very special city.
Yeah.
Because I think both of us, and especially coming from an American standpoint, we're not used to seeing things that old, that intact. And it's one of those places that I think you see pictures of, like in a textbook or, on some like BuzzFeed article of, majestic towns or historical towns. But to actually be there and like walk on these walls, touch the things, it's something else. It evokes like a different kind of feeling that you're not really prepared for. And I think we really geeked out.
Yeah, it was fun.
What was your favorite market stall?
Okay, I fell in love with this cute old man who was selling really cute wooden pieces that he had carved to create a pop-up city from the logs or the little pieces of wood. I actually bought two. One was carved from wood. One was carved out of a mushroom. Yeah. So it starts out as like a little piece of wood like this. Just looks like regular wood. And then it pops up into a city.
Oh my goodness.
It's so cute.
And when he gave her the mushroom that had been carved, it was with the caveat, don't get it wet.
Yeah.
Don't rehydrate the mushroom. Otherwise it's going to be a special city. Actually, it took me a really long time to think about my favorite stall.
Yeah.
Because there were a lot of really fun ones, but because I'm not a shopper, I had a kind of a hard time narrowing it down, but I think my favorite stall were the prune people.
Oh,
also in Nuremberg.
Good choice.
So I've talked about it before. I purchased a prune man. The town of Nuremberg had the history of making these prune people because they were items that were readily available. So they're made out of prunes, figs, and walnuts for heads. I actually have a guy downstairs. We're going to see how long he lasts, but they were quite impressive. What is your favorite memory of the trip? It's such a tough one. That's why I created a video with my top 10 favorites because I had a really hard time narrowing down.
I would say my favorite memory, we did a lot of walking, mind you. So there was this one time where we were walking past a little courtyard area and I thought, hey, let's go up these steps and see what's going on in here. I want to say it was next to a museum.
Yeah, it was in Stuttgart. It was the magical courtyard. It was like the backside of the museum.
It was so cute. There were 3 stories. Every story had a hanging 3D star and just a bunch of lights that were lighting every story. And there were people just hanging out. There were people sitting on benches. And we just got to soak it all in and just enjoy sitting for a bit. It was beautiful.
Ooh, we talked about a lot of positives. What was one of the things that went wrong? Or nothing really went wrong per se. I mean, we can say that the whole flight debacle getting to Europe, stuff went wrong. But what was maybe one of the lower points?
That's a good question. Yeah. I think, and I was really glad that you had an amazing camera phone that was able to pick things up, but I was just disappointed that I wasn't able to capture what I was seeing. Because that's one thing that I'm not super great at remembering things. And so I love cameras, but I wasn't able to capture the amazing lights that we got to see at night. And that's why I was really glad Rachelle, first of all, is a great photographer. And second of all, had amazing, what's the word?
iPhone.
An amazing iPhone.
This is all I shot with. I just was like, you know what, I'm just going to take my iPhone and give it a shot and see if I can just use this and just kind of limit the amount of stuff that I was taking. I was pleasantly surprised, and I think I'm going to do that for my upcoming trips. So I mentioned that we went to a castle in my last video. And there was this is one of the moments where, you know, you can do all the research that you possibly can. You can find the information online, or so you think, and then when you get there you realize that it's outdated or it's seasonal. And when we were trying to get to the castle, we knew that there was a bus that would take us up to the castle from the train station, but it only ran once every 2 hours. And in order to get to the train station, we had two options. We could either be an hour and 45 minutes early, or we could be 15 minutes late and then have to wait another 2 hours. So either way, we're going to be waiting a long time. So I made the decision to go early. And while we were there, we were at the train station for 2.5 hours, I think. There were no buses. There was one, and it left, but it wasn't the right time. And so after a while, Elise thought, well, maybe that was our bus, and we'll just wait for the next one to come. It shows up. I go over and I ask the guy, is this the bus that goes to the castle? He says no. Like, okay, so we've been outside in the middle of nowhere. This is a tiny, tiny town. There's nothing there. We're in the snow. It's freezing cold. And neither of us have cell service. The rail station office was closed by that point, so I couldn't connect to Wi-Fi there. Trying to figure out what to do. So a taxi driver pulls up and parks in these like designated taxi stalls. I don't know if he's there to pick somebody up, like somebody had called for a taxi. I said, you know what, I'm just gonna go ask him if he will take us up to the castle and hope he does not rip us off. I asked this guy, will he take us to the castle? He just says, sure, 20 to 25 euros. It was great. It was snowing, couldn't see the castle anymore, so I knew it was gonna be kind of a dangerous drive. I said, oh, you know, missed the bus. And he said, oh yeah, the bus doesn't run in the winter. So
Great! Fabulous.
That would have been really nice to have updated on the website and on the information board that I found that said, there's a bus that will take you right up to the castle. Lies! You sit on a throne of lies! But it has a happy ending. We made it to the castle. So yes. So we did have some lows, but most of them were highs, and even the lows, I think, were more learning experiences. Not the end of the world.
Rachelle is also a very resilient traveler, and she makes every opportunity look like heaven. So it was great.
Yay! I didn't tell her to say that. Okay, I included this because I'm a little nervous of her answer. But aside from the fact that I snore, I'm working on it. What did you learn about me?
I learned that you are 6. You are willing to try anything that you haven't tried before, which is an amiable quality.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I also thought it was I already knew this about you, but I know she gets excited about things. But when you're on a trip for 2 weeks, when you get tired, you know, you don't have very high highs, you don't have very low lows. You're just kind of numb sometimes. But she always got to her high highs. She's like, look at this! We're gonna go! Let's try this! This food's amazing! She was just always ready to go.
Thanks. I love traveling, and it's super fun to share it with someone who also likes traveling. Elise is a really, really fast learner and really just jumps right in. When you travel to a new place, when you don't have the ability to communicate, it can be very limiting, and you can feel very much out of the loop. You can feel that sense of numbness, like you're just kind of going along and just following someone. But there were so many times where she would ask, you know, how do I say this, or what are they saying here? And I would catch her speaking German, like, you know, and actually being able to communicate what it is that she wanted. And it was on the first night that we were in Munich, actually, and I think I have it on video.
Oh, wow.
And for somebody who's never spoken the language before, you know, she speaks English, she speaks Portuguese, now she's starting to speak German. It was really exciting, and it was exciting to me too, because then I didn't feel like I was just kind of like pulling her along, and like it was actually a little bit of stress off of me, because I felt kind of stressed, like I needed to be the main communicator, which is fine, but it was kind of nice to see that, and then being able to find Portuguese speakers.
That was so fun!
I had talked to someone and they would mention they're from Brazil. I was like, here's my friend that speaks Portuguese. And yeah, give her a few minutes to talk in Portuguese, where I just kind of sat there and just...
It is always fun to go to another country, and something I didn't experience, because this was my first experience in Europe, was that there were multiple languages being spoken. Whereas I'm used to going Central, South America, you go to one place, it's Spanish or it's Portuguese, that's it. But when I finally was able to speak a different language in Europe, I finally felt part of Europe, so it was very fun.
Alright, I think that's it. I'm a little delirious. Until next time.
I don't care.
Okay.
Oh, is it going?
Yeah.
Fabulous!
Blooper!
Hello! How did Matt do it with you?
Welcome to the podcast. I'm actually like looking at the camera too.
Okay, yeah, I don't know where I'm
Sorry,
supposed to look.
look at the
Hey, okay, cool. Easier.
Okay.
I can do this.
Okay. Not weird. I don't think I'm weird. And I think we got along pretty well.
She's great, you guys.
Yes. Yes. Stop.
Don't worry, I'm not sweating that much.
I have been baking cookies. So, a little bit of a glow.
It's almost as good as the Jesus store where people were smoking outside.
Yep, pretty sure I have a picture of that, or at least a video clip.
It's great.
Everybody can come to Jesus.
See the amphitheater, the old toilets that were on the other side of the wall.
You mean the holes in the ground that went down?
Yes!
So it's like, if the enemy is coming up on the wall and they're trying to like scale the wall, you can just drop a turd right there. It's bombs away.
Free ammo.
Gross. Cut.